Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's MarieSims. Today I am furnishing this lot in Tartosa that came with the My Wedding Stories game pack. The two Sims that live here are newlyweds and have been living here for about 2 months. In fact, this is the first time that they have ever lived together. Gino and Kourtney are two very independent people and both owned their own spaces while dating. Kourtney owned a really nice condo and Gino owned a very small fixer-upper that he didn't really see the point in fixing up until he met Kourtney. They were planning to move into Gino's fixer-upper, but after deciding on a destination wedding in Tartosa, they both felt an undeniable pull to begin their lives together in Tartosa. Although there was major concern from both sides of the family about living together for the first time and Kourtney moving away from her only family, Kourtney and Gino knew that their loyalty to each other would create an unbreakable bond and nothing could come between them. But because Kourtney is an only child, her mother decided to follow her on her journey and is planning to move close by in Selva Dorada, since she does have extended family over there. Kourtney's been very private about her love life and tends to cling on to Gino's side of the family, as they are very welcoming and open-hearted towards their relationship. In fact, Gino's side of the family knew that Kourtney was the one as soon as Gino brought her home on the 4th of July, and they were trying to get Gino to pop the question within the first year of dating. He held back though, because at first he was taken aback by Kourtney's hyper-independence. She would never call first and always seemed to be busy whenever he did get the courage to call her. But little did he know that Kourtney's last relationship put her through the ringer and she was exhausted at the thought of having to chase a man and started to question if real love really did exist. So instead of investing all of her time into this new relationship, Kourtney picked up as many hobbies as she could to keep herself from thinking about Gino. Gino was very impressed that Kourtney always seemed to be up to something, whether it was a book club, cooking classes, gardening, or learning a new skill. He could never figure out when it was a good time to plan a date, so instead of calling, he would drive past her condo to see if her car was there. Most times it wasn't. But Gino was trying to surprise her and figure out her schedule, since she would never really say when she had free time. On the surface, Gino seemed a bit childish to Kourtney, and she was afraid she had fallen into another dead-end relationship. He had no plans of fixing his fixer-upper, and was always spending his free time tinkering away at useless projects, or passing the time at his parents' house ignoring his responsibilities to watch football games. But once Kourtney started to make more free time for Gino, she felt a shift in his energy. Almost overnight, he was asking her to help him redesign his house plans so that she could move in, picking out tile for the bathroom together, and designing a greenhouse so that Kourtney could keep her garden alive year-round. The only thing that kept Kourtney from saying yes was that Gino was talking about starting a family and asked if Kourtney was willing to quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom. Kourtney was still skeptical, and she felt she was too young to be thinking about kids, as she is only 23 and Gino is 24. When she told her mother this, she was in shock and couldn't believe what she was hearing. Kids and moving in with him only after a year of dating was too much to handle. After all, Kourtney's mom, being a divorcee, didn't believe in the idea of marriage anymore and certainly lost faith in such thing as a good man. In fact, it's almost as if Kourtney's mom was trying to keep them from growing close to her. Anytime Kourtney did bring Gino around her mom, she would stay closed off to him and would ignore him, avoiding eye contact. Luckily, Kourtney was still somewhat close to her dad and could see that he was growing closer with Gino and began to grow an adorable interest in him. In fact, they were so close that Kourtney's dad could see how much he cared for Kourtney and asked him why, after 3 years, he hadn't thought about moving in with Kourtney, and asked him to stop playing with Kourtney's heart if he didn't see a solid future with her. To his surprise, he found out that Gino had already had this conversation with Kourtney, but nothing progressed because of her mother and her thinking it was too good to be true. Right then and there, Kourtney's dad pulled Gino to the side and said, "I'm sorry that she said all these things, but she is still pretty bitter about the divorce and me moving on so quickly. Clearly, we weren't happy together and had to go our separate ways. But when I tell you, I have never been more sure about a man in Kourtney's life. I truly mean it. You have to talk to her and let her know you're sure. Kourtney scares very easily and shouldn't let her mother live in her head, but she does. Do it now or you'll regret it. I promise you, you two are made for each other." After this conversation, Gino booked a vacation to Salani so that he could put his entire focus on Kourtney and show her how much he truly loves her. They spent a magical week together, coming back engaged. Kourtney was smiling from ear to ear, and everyone thought that she might have been pregnant as she had this undeniable glow to her. When she showed off her ring to Gino's family, she knew that this was the start of forever, never questioning Gino's integrity, and was able to keep her mother's negative talk about Gino at bay. Now, the only thing standing in her way are the challenges of living together for the first time and learning to take things slowly. Gino still wants to have kids as soon as possible, and Kourtney can see kids in the picture, but she would like to wait a few years to make sure she gets everything she wants out of this life, as she still has a fear of fully letting go. Let me know what you guys think of this video down below. I really love hearing your feedback. It just makes posting content that much more fun. Bye guys, and don't forget to stay shining.